3ds Max, as most 3D applications, uses the term specular to identify a material's level of shine. The settings that control those specific surface characteristics are located in the specular highlights section of the material's basic parameters. To demonstrate how the controls work, I've simply created a teapot that I've applied a navy blue material to. The curved nature of the teapot's geometry makes the shape ideal for generating a shine on the object's surface once the appropriate material adjustments have been made. So we can best display an accurate representation of the changes we'll be making, let's activate Max's ActiveShade viewport rendering command. Now, if you're not familiar with that, be sure to check out the video pertaining to the subject in the chapter on rendering in this title. Before activating the ActiveShade option, let's resize the perspective window. We can do that by putting our mouse where the four viewports come together, then pulling up and to the left. Now, once resized, let's also zoom in a bit so we can make the teapot a little bit larger. Okay, once things are in place, we'll go to the upper left-hand corner of the viewport, clicking on Perspective. Then, about 3/4 of the way down the list, we'll choose Extended Viewports, then over to ActiveShade. Your primary controls for adjusting the shine on a surface are the specular level and glossiness settings. Specular level adjusts the strength of the shine, with higher values creating a stronger level of shine. Notice that adjusting the strength has nothing to do with the size of the shine. That's controlled with the glossiness setting. A higher glossiness value making for a smaller shiny area, which is what you typically see with shinier objects. So the shinier an object is, the more likely that that surface will have both a high specular level and a high glossiness value. Let's take the spec level to about 50 and we'll drop the glossiness to around 15. The soften control that you find below glossiness is designed to soften the specular highlight as it blends into the material's diffuse color, its main body color in other words. Now the results are subtle but can make a big difference all depending on the level and amount of the shine you're aiming to achieve. As you adjust the specular level and glossiness, notice that the bell-shaped curve to the right of those two controls is changing. As you increase the strength of the shine, the specular level, in other words, the height of the curve will increase. As you adjust the glossiness higher, in other words, the size of the shine, the curve will get thinner at the bottom. So the taller the curve, the stronger the shine. The thinner the curve at its bottom, the smaller the specular highlight. If you understand how to read the curve, you can pretty much stay focused on that in adjusting your levels. Let's try a few things out so we can get the hang of how it works. Let's select a new sample slot, we'll open up the diffuse color swatch, and we'll change that color to dark gray. I'll do that by adjusting the value slider down to around 20. Once you've done that, copy the material over to the next slot by simply dragging and dropping. Okay, let's say that we're going to make two different skins. One will look like the dark leather on a wallet or purse, while the other will intend to look like a pair of marine boots during an inspection. Now, the wallet leather has some shine, but not a lot. We can recreate that using both a low specular level and a low glossiness value. Let's take the specular level to 25 and we'll leave the glossiness set at 10. Now, with the military boot, we've got a whole nother story. In order to pass inspection, that baby's going to need an especially high level of shine, one that almost makes it look like glass. So for that, we're going to need both our specular level and glossiness to be quite high. Selecting the other sample ball, we'll change the spec level to 95 and we'll take the glossiness to 85. Look at the difference the shine makes on both surfaces. They were both created using the same color, yet the level of shine on each makes them look completely different. Let's apply both materials to the teapot in the ActiveShade window. As you can see, there's definitely quite a bit of difference in their looks. Now, the one thing that we haven't talked about is the color swatch for specular, which, as you might guess, controls the color of the shiny area. Let's open the color swatch, changing it to bright yellow. Let's also try a bright green. And we'll close things out using a bright red. So the specular color swatch specifically controls the color of the specular area. You'll be continually adjusting both the specular level and glossiness back and forth to achieve just the right shine. So keep those two settings straight, and you'll be able to recreate whatever level of shine the objects in your scene call for.